Okay. Oh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. So we are on the sloka number 2. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayanam Namaskritya Naram Jaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Srimate Bhakti Saraswati Devi Gauravani Pracharini Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschakta Desakar Jai Sri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasati Gaurabhata Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama Hare Vanchakalpatarubhyaścha Kripa Sindhubhya Eva Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo. British, your speaking language is not detected. Okay. So we are on the sloka number 2, right? Atyahara praharasya prajalpo niyamagraha jana sangascha laulyam cha sadbhir bhaktir vinashyati. Once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following 6 activities: eating more than necessary, collecting collecting more funds than required, over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain, talking unnecessary about mundane subject matters, practicing scriptural rules and regulations only for the sake of following them and not for the sake of spiritual advancement, or rejecting the rules and regulations of scriptures and working independently or whimsically, associating with worldly minded persons who are not interested in Krishna consciousness, and being greedy for mundane achievements. So, while discussing these topics, we came about the discussion of endeavors and eating more and being greedy and association. So, there is one topic that we wanted to discuss about the song of Avanti Brahman. And it's in the 11th canto of Srimad Bhagavatam. And it is very interesting uh, situation when this was told by Krishna to Uddhava. Everybody knows Uddhava, right? I suppose. Uddhava is cousin of Krishna, okay, and he is a very good friend of Krishna also, staying with him in Dwarka. And he accompanied Krishna in Dwarka, Mathura, and all the Leelas outside Vrindavan. So he is considered as very best friend and very close to Krishna. So, like Arjuna uh, is very close, good friend of Krishna. Similarly, Uddhava is also very good, very close to Krishna. So, how we understand this? Um, Uddhava, when Krishna went from Vrindavan to Mathura and Dwarka, and he was living there, but he was always remembering about the Brajavasis. And so just to pacify the Brajavasis, Krishna sent two devotees to Vrindavan. So one was Uddhava and one was Lord Balaram. So Uddhava was also sent by Krishna to Vrindavan to convey his message. And so when he went to Vrindavan uh, to meet the Brajavasis, before that, he was thinking, or the devotees in Dwarka, they were thinking that they are the greatest devotees of Krishna and they are very close to Krishna. And Krishna likes them. Of course, Krishna likes them. But somehow Uddhava was also thinking like he's very close to Krishna and he understands Krishna. uh, and that is the mood in Dwarka and Mathura, that they think they are very close to Krishna. Then when Uddhava went to Vrindavan, he first met Yashoda Mai and Nanda Maharaj, and he understood their love for Krishna. And he was astonished to see how Nanda Maharaj and Yashoda Mai and devotees in Nanda Mahal were so much attached to Krishna and always thinking about Krishna. Next day, he met the gopis of uh, Vrindavan, including Radharani. So when he met the gopis of Vrindavan and he saw how much these uh, gopis are engrossed about thinking of Krishna, though they are so much away from Krishna, and how they remember him, how they always talk about him, how they uh, serve him by remembering him, and how much pain they have in their heart just because of separation from Krishna. So when Uddhava saw all this love for Krishna in the hearts of gopis and Brajavasis, he was shocked. And he understood that, oh, these are the greatest devotees of Krishna, and the gopis are the highest. Radharani is the most highest. How she is always remembering Krishna, never forgetting Krishna. And he understood that these are the real devotees. And of course, Dwarkavasis are also devotees, but he understood the real love and what is real attachment. And even if you are away from Krishna, how much you are attached. So it is always easy to be in connection with somebody who is in front of you. uh, but in this world, like once we are away from certain thing or certain person, it's always chance of getting less and less contact. But of course, your close ones and dear ones, you get more attached. So Brajavasis were like that, and there he understood that okay, these are the Radharani is the highest devotee, and then he came back to Dwarka and he told Krishna that I understood what you wanted to teach me. So, as a very close friend of Krishna, uh, Krishna always wanted to tell Uddhava the highest teaching, and he wanted Uddhava or he to tell this message to everyone. So, after coming from Vrindavan, Uddhava not only told Krishna, but he told all other devotees in Dwarka and Mathura that how the Brajavasis are greatest, how they are very close to Krishna. Not only Brajavasis are thinking about Krishna, but Krishna is always thinking about Brajavasis. Though he lives with us, he's 24 hours with us, but he's thinking about the Brajavasis continuously. And that is the greatest love we can see, or the purest love we can see. So he advertised or he told everybody the what is the real or highest love for Krishna. So this was one scenario or one pastime how Uddhava was involved by Krishna in the highest teaching. Okay, so now in the 11th canto, after 10th canto, Krishna's pastimes in Vrindavan and Dwarka and Mathura and everything is explained. Then the 11th canto is the curse by Brahmanas to the Yadu dynasty. And so, because like the purpose of Krishna coming to this world, killing, pacifying the devotees and killing the demons was done. So Brahma and other devatas they told Krishna that your pastimes or your purpose of coming to this world is fulfilled because he came on the request of Brahma and all the devatas. Right? So then Krishna decided to go back. Uh, so at that time, this 11th canto starts with the with the pastime of Krishna uh, going back to his spiritual world from this material world, and how all this was done, how the curse was done. Why Krishna? Then there is then there is also the story of how the Yadu dynasty was finished. Why Krishna did this? So all this is in the 11th canto. So at the end of Krishna going back to his spiritual world, when he is in one place, secluded place, Uddhava goes there, and Uddhava asks Krishna that you please take me with him. That was his wish or expectation, or that's what he thought Krishna will do. But Krishna said, no, you have to do one more thing for me. You have to go to Badrikashram and give the teaching to them. And so, what are the teachings? That is what Krishna told Uddhava, and that is described in the 11th canto. So, this is also called Uddhava Gita. So, the way Bhagavad Gita was spoken on the battlefield to Arjuna, Krishna also gave this same similar knowledge to Uddhava also. But to Uddhava, he gave more details about how these things are to be done, how you should apply. So Krishna says, like in Bhagavad Gita, Sarvadhamma Parityaja Mamekam Sharanam Vraja. So he is told that you give up everything and just surrender unto me. Aham tam sarva papebhyo. I will take care of everything. So he told at the end of Bhagavad Gita. But in Uddhava Gita, we can see Krishna told more details. So how to give up, how I take care, how these things to be done. That is explained more details in Uddhava Gita. And in Uddhav Gita, then Krishna gives different examples how this rule or this principle was applied by different devotees and how they were delivered. Okay, so in that scenario, this is the story of this Avanti Brahman is coming, where Krishna is telling Uddhava, how you can get attached to and मनमना भव मद भक्त how you can fix your mind एकेह गुरु नंदन व्यवसायत्मिका बुद्धि एकेह guru nandan. So how your intelligence should be fixed on only one theme of perfection of life. So this is what Krishna is giving the example with this story of Avanti Brahman. So this comes in the 24th chapter, 23rd chapter of 11th canto, and in the 22nd canto, uh, Krishna is telling Uddhava that do not try to enjoy your sense objects or with your material senses, this hand, body, and all. And see how you identify yourself with the body, and that is the cause of your all the suffering. And that takes you away from your uh, main purpose of the life. And because of identifying with the body, how you get attached to the different things of this material world. And then you goes into ignorance, and this is the cause of your suffering, and go away from the goal of the life. So when Krishna tells this to Uddhava in the 22nd chapter, then further details in this chapter, Avanti Brahman story, Krishna tells that I will tell you a story how this was implemented by a Brahman who lived in Avanti. So this is the background where this story song of Avanti Brahman is coming. So Song of Avanti Brahman is sometimes also called Bhikshu Geet. Bhikshu means the beggar, the song of a beggar. So the story of Avanti Brahman goes like, I will just summarize. So he was a Brahman living in Avanti village, and he was very rich. He had everything, the farms and big house and relatives and family, everything. But there was one problem. He was very greedy for the wealth. So he just wanted to accumulate the wealth more and more. That was his intention. So generally, if you have wealth, how it should be utilized? It should be utilized basically for what? For serving the devotees, for some religious activities, for worshipping the devatas, or for yourself, or for your family, for their not only enjoyment but also their comfort. So the money or wealth should be utilized in this way, and that way everybody around you will be satisfied with that wealth. And by if everybody is satisfied, then the devatas will also be satisfied. If you do the religious activities like charity, donations, and all these things, the devatas who are the deities or the controllers of these activities, they will be happy. So just one detail that whatever we do or whatever our body is, right? So eyes, eyelids, hand, everything, there is a devta for each of the organ of our body. So there is, and that devta is the controller. So tongue, everything. So they are the deities of these senses, and they maintain and they act or they make the senses act. So everybody has some in charge. It's not like they are without any controller. It's there. So if you satisfy the people, you satisfy the deities of that particular material body, organs, everything, and you do worship of charity, worship of devatas, they are satisfied. So by this, your whatever wealth or opulence you have, that is continued because they are satisfied. But in case of Avanti Brahman, he was so greedy to accumulate the wealth. He didn't use the wealth not for himself, not for his family, not for religious activities, not for charity, not for donations, not for serving the sadhus. He didn't use that wealth. He just keep on accumulating. And that created the adverse effect because the devatas of all these activities were not satisfied. So somehow this happened, and then slowly everything that he had was taken away from him. So wealth and land and whatever opulence he had, everything was slowly taken away. And when everything was taken away from him, he also became old. Then at that stage of his life when he is already old, everything has been taken away, and then his body is not reacting, his body is not working properly. So his relatives, his friends, everybody also gave him up. So in one way, he was like suddenly became homeless. Not suddenly, slowly all this thing happened without him noticing this. And at certain point, he was like homeless. And then he started contemplating what exactly has happened with me and who is the cause of all this suffering. He was suffering because he lost everything. He lost money, lost land, lost relatives. He was on the road before he was to live on palace and all. So he started contemplating what has gone wrong. And by deep contemplation on this his life, he slowly understood that what wrong he has done. And somehow or other, he started getting renunciation from all the things to which he was previously attached. So in that state of life or a state of mind or intelligence, he started analyzing different things, and he came to the conclusion that the reason for my suffering is nobody outside, it's only inside me. Okay, so I am suffering not because of anybody. And in that chapter, there is an analysis when he songs the song of Avanti Brahman. He gives each and every he like we think that the other people are the cause of my suffering, or the body is the cause of my suffering, or the planets are cause of my suffering. We try to blame others for our suffering. Right? And then there is in the song of Avanti Brahman, he gives the analysis how these things that we blame for our suffering are not the cause of our suffering. So that in this chapter, if you go from verse number 42, this all the 42 or 43 yesterday, I was just checking. Um, then this all the analysis, his song is given. Uh, and there also he clearly gives like how we identify with this body and how the jiva or the soul is separate from the body. And when we blame somebody for our situation, uh, how wrongly we are analyzing it. So it's actually the mind. The Avanti Brahman tells the mind of us, our mind is so strong, or he is the strongest, and that mind is the cause of our all the identification and all the ignorance. Uh, and then also he tells that okay, the purpose of all these religious activities and donations and sevas and everything ultimately is to control the mind, to engage the mind, because this mind, if it is free, it will create havoc for yourself and for the people around you. You will not be happy and you will not make others also happy. So the controlling of the mind is required, and the purpose of everything is to control the mind. So he gives that analysis how it is. Sukadeva Goswami or Krishna tells Uddhava how nobody else has to be blamed for our current situation. Or what happiness also, it's not only suffering, it's happiness also. uh, that we have to, because happiness and suffering both are in the material world. So we only talk about suffering. Generally we are suffering, I am suffering problems, but happiness also we should analyze at the same time, because the result of happiness is also coming from the mind. Uh, and there are very deep analysis and very deep, means if you read these verses from 50 onwards. So I will read one shloka, right? Okay, this is shloka number 53. So it is about the planets. So sometimes they say that my stars are bad. I also say my stars are such that I have to act in. I'm acting in this way. So that's natural. Uh, but Avanti Brahman, he analyzes if the planets are the cause of suffering and happiness. So one thing we should notice, that always in this chapter, it's not about only distress. It's always about happiness and suffering, or happiness and distress. So the point is we should be detached from the happiness also. So if I'm reading this shloka, okay, about the planets. If the planets are the cause of suffering and happiness, then also where is the relationship with the eternal soul? If we say that I am not body, I am soul, okay, then where is the soul? The planets influence only the bodies that have taken birth. Expert astrologers are moreover explained that suffering is caused by the planets causing affliction to each other. Hmm. Therefore, since the living entity is distinct from these planets and from the material body, against whom should I vent his anger? Right? So, planets also work against the planets. So, if I say, like, I am in Shani now, so Shani is you have very hard, you have to do very hard work. And Guru and Shani, something like is there, but this 1 year is Shani. So Shani likes you to work hard for everything. It will give the good results when it is satisfied. Okay. So, but that is the condition, that it makes Shani makes this body to work hard. So I have to do lot of work. I will be busy in office. I will be busy in other activities. I will be always tired, working hard. So, but what is happening is the Shani is working on my body. It's making my body to work hard because I am in that situation. And that planet is acting on my planets and working me hard. But Avanti Brahman says, okay, why you should blame planets, or why should you will be angry with the planet situation? Because if you are soul, then what is the question of planet affecting the soul? It cannot affect the soul, because soul is not of this material world. It's eternal, it's conscious, it's outside this material world. So the planets don't affect the soul, right? So it affects the body. So if you are not this body, what is the reason to get angry on planets? So this is one analysis. Then it tells about the 55 4 verse. If we assume that karma is the cause of happiness and distress, it is very interesting. Many times we say, because of my past karma I am suffering or I am getting happiness. That's true, but that analysis also is given. If we assume that karma is the cause of happiness and distress, we are still not dealing with the soul. Okay. Karma could be soul. Soul means here the spelling is SOLE only, not SOUL, soul. It's soul, SOLE. Cause if it were simultaneously a conscious entity and unconscious entity, hmm, if karma acts on both, then it will be reason. Since the body has no life and the soul is spiritual, how can they combine as one? Since karma is not the cause of suffering, at whom one should get angry. So it's very good analysis, like soul and body is different. Soul is within the body. Karma is acting on the body. Soul is aloof from the body. Then how can I as a soul blame the karma also? Right, so like this, time also, if we accept time as the cause of happiness and distress, that experience still cannot apply to the spirit soul, since time is a manifestation of Lord's spiritual potency, and the living entity are also expansions of Lord's spiritual energy potency. Fire does not burn its own flames or sparks, nor does the cold harm its own snowflakes. The jiva is transcendental and beyond the experience of material happiness and distress, at whom therefore one become angry. Right? So time is also like in the spiritual world there is no past, present, future. Right? Eternal time is existing, but material world is past, present, and future. What is this time? Is given in Bhagavatam. Canto 5, I think, where the constitution or how this material world is built, and the sun, fourth and fifth canto, it is given. So, time is actually the change, okay, change of the situation that is measured as time. That is given, tells Bhagavatam, tells that. So, every second we are going under the changes, right? It is everything. So, that is actually time. So, if we say that, sometimes we say, oh, my time is bad, it's just not the right time to do something. But Avanti Brahman says that analysis is also wrong, because if you think that now current time is good or current time is bad, that means you mean to say the good time is coming or bad time is coming. So this is has present and future and past, right? Last last week was horrible. So this is the past time. So these concepts of past, present, future apply to the material world, but soul is different. Then how can you say that time is the cause? So like this, Avanti Brahman's song or Bhikshu Geet is giving analysis how the what we imagine that the cause of my suffering or happiness is somebody else, is this concept itself is wrong. And then Avanti Brahman tells that your our mind is making all these things happen, and we should be detached from all these things. So in this consciousness, Avanti Brahman detached himself from everything, and he fixed uh, his mind under the intelligence. uh, and intelligence was telling him, now you should focus on worshipping the Supreme Lord. And in that state, he started living as a sannyasi. And then there is also how he was given suffering. Before he analyzes this, there is a lot of few shlokas where it is mentioned how he was given suffering by people, suffering by nature, how people acted with him, how they talked with him. Mm. So all these explanations are given, and how Avanti Brahman got detached or renounced from everybody. How he renounced internally, he renounced from everybody. So even if he was living in the same place as a beggar, people were criticizing him, talking harsh words to him, but internally he was renounced from all those words and those people and everything happening around him. So internally he was always satisfied and happy. So Krishna is telling Uddhava that the reason for your happiness and suffering is nobody else, but it's you yourself. You have to blame yourself. So this is, in short, what is Avanti Brahman song and why it is important. Because it is important because it is in Bhagavatam, and Krishna told this teaching to Uddhava. And he's telling Uddhava that you, in this whole canto, that you go and teach this or convey this message to the sages of Badrikashram, who will give these teachings to everybody because Kali Yuga is coming. So Krishna said, like Kali Yuga cycle will start and people will be suffering. So this Bhagavad Gita was one thing, and this Uddhava Gita is more details how this should be done. Uddhava told the sages to convey this message to everyone. So we are reading this in Bhagavatam, right? So we are studying or we are trying to analyze. So this Avanti Brahman story is very important to us because when we read this, we actually understand that, oh, I am in this situation. I am doing this. I do like blame people like this. I do blame time, planets. I do blame uh, somebody else or some other situations for all my suffering. I'm doing that. You understand that? Yes, you can relate what is being told to you. So that is the beauty of this Bhagavatam. That whenever whatever you read, you can relate it how it connects to my life or my situation. So uh, it's not easy to uh, implement this. It's Krishna is teaching this because it is to be applied in our life, but it is not easy. That's why Krishna is giving this teaching, right? So there are very good sentences, like the senses are under the control of mind. Okay, the mind is not under the control of anything else. The mind is fearsome, stronger than the strongest. One who controls the mind is the controller of the senses. So these sentences or the shlokas in this chapter are so strong, and they represent the reality. The mind is not under control of anybody. So this sentence itself is fearful, right? How can this mind be so strong? We don't see the mind. We don't know where is the mind. And how can it so strong and it can control everything, not only my senses, but my body, my soul also. It bewilders everything. But then Krishna tells that, okay, mind is your enemy, it desires something, but you can control it by renunciation and keeping it uh, intelligence. Hmm. So that's why this actually this Avanti Brahman story and the shlokas in this chapter are eye openers. We sometimes I have read this before yesterday also night also I was reading. I was like, okay, my God, this. But Krishna tells after this to Uddhava and also in Bhagavad Gita that mind is strong, it's difficult, it's impossible to control, but you can do it by regular practice and by renunciation. So this is message in chapter 6 of Bhagavad Gita, and here also Krishna is giving the similar message by the story of this Avanti Brahman, that if you can control your mind in a proper way by the intelligence, then mind is your very good friend, because the strongness of that mind will be utilized by the intelligence. So Krishna tells the hierarchy, right? Mind is above the senses, intelligence is above the mind, and soul is above the intelligence. So if you go from soul's perspective, the intelligence will be properly controlled, and the intelligence will control the mind. Hmm. In Avanti Brahman story, it is also explained how our ego, the false ego or the materialistic ego, is the cause of our suffering, and how it is done. The mind does that. The false ego is there. We have this material ego. I am something. I am, or I am nothing. Both ways. So mind how identifies with the false ego and creates the problems for us. Uh, so this is also explained in this chapter about the position of false ego, how mind uses that. So mind will use your ego to analyze certain situation, what is going for you, what is going against you, and then mind will conclude something. Oh, this person is bad. Why? Because he is not acting according to my wish. So it's concluded, and mind concludes with the help of false ego that this person is bad. Intelligence may be sitting there, it tells no, this person is not really bad, his situation is bad, but the mind don't listen. So intelligence is actually subdued by this mind and false ego. So this also we understand when we read these verses that how all this everything senses are actually the result, but mind, intelligence, and false ego, these are the things that we cannot see. They are subtle. So the subtler the thing, more difficult for us to understand and more difficult for it to control. So Krishna also tells air. Arjuna, yes, controlling mind is difficult than controlling the air. Air we cannot see, right? But we can feel the trees are shaking. I'm feeling something on my body. The air is blown. Air is going from anywhere the air can go. Whatever you air to make a airtight room is very difficult because air can pass anywhere, through anything into anything. So the subtler the thing is, difficult to understand it. Hmm. And so mind and false ego, they are very powerful because they are subtle. But we have to understand that intelligence is more subtler than mind. So if we properly use our intelligence, and how can we use that intelligence properly is by renunciation. That is why renunciation Krishna has given in chapter 5, chapter 17, 18. Krishna talks about in Bhagavad Gita about renunciation everywhere and in all the Bhagavatam also. That renunciation is important. But Krishna is saying, what is renunciation? Actual renunciation is renunciation from the fruits of the your activity. So karma also. So if you whatever activity you do, you renounce from that activity's results, then you are actually renounced. Krishna says, just not by this dress, you cannot become a renunciate. Internally, you have to do that. So that is a subtle thing, how you renounce your mind. Uh, So Krishna is telling that mentally renounce everything. He's not telling Arjuna to go in the jungle or he's telling you mentally renounce everything. And that is shown in this Avanti Brahman's song, how he analyzed, how he stayed in very adverse situations and adverse conditions, but still he fixed his intelligence uh, in on the Supreme Lord, and that he made the goal of his life. So he had different phase of life where he was opulent, but he didn't do his proper duties. He got attached to the wealth, and that spoiled everything. And then how he got so much renounced from everything when he understood that wealth has created so much problem for him. He got renounced from everybody, and with that renunciation, the renunciation with all other things also automatically came. So this is what is the Avanti Brahman story. Yeah. So we wanted to have this, but I suggest that I just gave the brief outline, like what is the learning from Avanti Brahman story, that nobody else has to be blamed for our situation. We have to take that responsibility. And if we really have this proper knowledge that I am not this body, I am soul, then how to apply and how to see that I'm not still in that consciousness. We think that I'm doing chanting for 20 years, 40 years, whatever. I'm reading shloka, I'm giving class, I'm discussing topics of Krishna, and I'm with the association of devotees. Everything is good. But all the purpose of all these things is to get self realized. Are you, what state of realization you are in? So, all this Bhagavatam 11th canto and all the stories that help us to understand our current situation and improve from there. How to improve? So here in this sloka, Rupa Goswami is telling inspector of instruction these things. Once devotional service is spoiled when he becomes too entangled in the following activities. So here, too entangled, atiharaha. This ati is word used. So ati means too much. So it's not that eating is prohibited, uh, or mundane subjects prohibited, practicing rules is prohibited, associating with worldly people is not recommended. It's not that. Uh, Mundane achievements, it is ati. Don't do anything ati. Don't do it too much anything. Too much mundane talk, too much association with people not interested in Krishna consciousness, too much working independently, too not listening to anybody, whimsically acting whatever your mind tells, act according to that. So all these activities, when done too much, is a problem. So Rupa Goswami tells, Ati, don't do anything, Ati. So what? You have to be very balanced life. So it's not that you should not work, you should work, but how much you are attached to that work is a more important. You have to do your duty. Arjuna, consider Arjuna's situation. He has to kill people every day. That was his duty as a Kshatriya, Dharma. And Arjuna did that every day. He worked from morning to evening very hard. He killed so many people, and he was doing that. And but he was not attached. He got renounced when Krishna told him, and he chose that path of renunciation, and he fought. Right. So ati is not recommended in neither in nectar of instruction nor in Bhagavad Gita. So balance. That's why balancing the life when we do the spiritual practice is very helpful and very important also. Mm. So, what time it is? What time? Mm. What is the time? Huh? It's already 8.
No, 7:45.
Okay, okay. We still have some time. So we can see in this purport how Rupa Goswami, from the beginning, he has given the uh, explanation about the three Shaktis of the Lord and how we associate, what is our position, how we are identified in these three Shaktis, and uh, how the soul is suffering in this body. And then he tells like whom to associate with, what we should do, what we should not do, right? That will come afterwards. But uh, in the story of Avanti Brahman, if we see, you can read this loka, the six things, and read the Bhagavatam, this 23rd chapter. You will understand that Avanti Brahman actually followed all these six instructions very rigidly. And that's why he achieved his goal of God consciousness or surrender that is required. So, even if we cannot 100% apply these teachings or apply or work according to this, but if we start applying this slowly, we will understand how our life changes. And this includes me also. I'm not telling you, I'm telling to myself also that I have to start all applying all these teachings, and then I will understand the effect of these instructions on my life. Too much attached to anything is bad, we think. So Avanti Brahmans he gives very good analysis like how his family, his wealth, his palace, his fields, and his lands. He tried to acquire more and more, and he got unknowingly attached to all those things, and he didn't want to give up anything. Right. So, but there are also examples of Janak Maharaj and Amrish Maharaj, who were the kings, Pundarik Vidyanidhi in Chaitanya Charitamrita, who were very opulent, who had lot of wealth and lot of land and houses, but they were not attached to all those things. They were ready to give up any time and come out. So if you are in that state, it is good. But can we be in that state of renunciation internally? Is what we have to analyze ourselves and study our situation. So, these instructions that eating more than necessary or collecting more funds than required, uh, over over endeavoring for mundane things that are very difficult to obtain. This is very important. The devotees case, it happens that um, We say, I'm doing everything, Yukta Vairagya, that I'm doing everything for Krishna, I will utilize everything for Krishna. But how much endeavors is involved in that? Are you spending your time and your everything in that? Then it's wrong. You have to do something, some modification in your process or something that the endeavors will be less. Uh, Talking unnecessary about mundane subject matter, this we all know, right? Practicing the scriptural rules or rejecting the rules, right? Not good. Acting whimsically. Avanti Brahman, he acted when he was rich, he had money, everything. He acted what he wanted to do as per his mind. He didn't use that money for any activity or for himself or his family also. So that was his problem. He didn't act properly. Associating with worldly minded person who are not interested in Krishna consciousness. Yeah. So, but this should not do ati. So, it does not mean that I give up the job because there is no Krishna conscious person. I have to do my job in a balanced way without getting attached to it and use that opportunity to teach about Krishna, and greedy for mundane activities. So, uh, it's nothing harm in confessing to Krishna or confessing to somebody that I am facing these all problems in my life and I am stuck up in this. If you understand that you are stuck up, it's okay. You have to confess it to Krishna and the Super Soul that I am stuck up. I want to get out of all these things. And we have to understand that getting out of all this is not an immediate thing. It is not that, oh, today I read these words, we discuss Avanti Brahman. Tomorrow renounce it, everything. It's not possible. In this world, it is not possible. Slowly, everything will happen slowly. So you have to be very patient and tolerant, like Avanti Brahman, to mm, uh, apply these teachings or instructions. And Avanti Brahman story also it is mentioned how the consciousness is different from the body. And if you are conscious of your situations and your actions, then everything can be managed by within ourselves because it tells that super soul is sitting there trying to help us, but we are not taking help. We are just running. And we always say that, oh, this is Krishna's arrangement. But Avanti Brahman, one shloka is there that everything is happening, the mind is doing because of your desires. So I have desire somewhere deep inside my heart. I will have some desire on which the mind is acting. If I don't have desire, the mind will not act. So I have to renounce my desires also. So this is very practical. We get certain situations by which we get happiness uh, or we feel good. Like somebody praises us, we feel good. Why? Because we have that desire that somebody should say, "You are good preacher, you are good devotee, you are good." So that happiness is also coming from the ego or desire. And when the desire is there, the mind takes that desire to fulfill that desire, is combines with the ego, and they shake hands and then they say, okay, those two people are praising you. So the false ego goes, yes, they are very good. So mind sets it. Okay, these two people are good. So next time when these people come, the mind will bring it. Oh, these people are good. So you should be good. The senses will say, oh, you do something. So how this is how these all activities are working. And one more important thing that Avanti Brahman tells is based on our desires and the modes of nature. So, modes of nature is a very subtle thing that is always operating in our mind, our intelligence, our bodies, and outside also. So, this spec, okay, this is good or bad, right? So, if I can see clearly by using this spec, I think though this number or this everything power of this class, everything is good. So this is helpful for me. Right? So this is mode of goodness that I put actually as a spec. If I keep it here, has no value. If on the road some speck or something is there, it has no value if it has no connection with me. But if I use it, it helps me. I get connected with it. So I connected with it in one particular way. If I use this spec for good thing, it is in goodness. If I use certain things that I should not see, I am seeing with this spec. Why I'm doing that? Because my mode is not goodness. I am in passion or ignorance. So I will use the same thing for goodness. So the spec itself is not in mode of goodness or passion. Dull matter. But our state of mind in passion and ignorance, we apply that on the objects and then we enjoy the object. So with spec, I will do the things that I am not supposed to do. So I use spec as an object and use it for my own gratification possible or use for good thing. So this way we are putting our consciousness into this in different modes and we utilize these objects, everything for our purpose. So Avanti Brahman says, if we are doing like this to get happiness, how can I blame somebody else? Because I am doing this. So this way, this analysis of these instructions is very clearly applied by Avanti Brahman. So we are not able to go through all the shlokas, but I suggest like 11th canto, 23rd chapter, 23rd, right? Yeah. Is Avanti Song of Avanti Brahman, Bhikshu Geet. And this, if you have time, read this. It's very interesting to know how we are feeling and to control our mind and how we are controlled. We think we are controller, but by reading this, we understand no. Actually, I am being controlled by somebody else because of my ignorance, because of my mind running after that. So I have to blame myself that it's not nobody else. So okay, now it's almost 8 o'clock. So I hope that questions that were raised yesterday in the our chat group also are got answered or not, or any other points anybody will like to share or comment or discuss, then we can utilize the remaining time for that. Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. There was one question, right? I forgot. Some question was there. Mhm. This question. I like to have one story how to apply the life. Okay, we discuss about this. It would be great to do Avanti Brahman. Who is this? Okay. How we should be, I consider them ideals. One request from my side is so far the purpose has been how we should be. I consider them ideals. At times there is difficulty in application. Can you please explain how to apply this principle gradually and whichever way is the best, please? I can relate to this when it comes to bhakti, but materially for example, tolerant and respect, we already discussed. But if you could talk about anartha, how to use this ideal against them. Okay, so for anarthas, if I can find that shloka in the Avanti Brahman story, there is one shloka, how these anarthas are coming out of our activities. Very 15 anarthas, yeah, this one. 23, 18, and 19. Theft, violence, speaking lies, duplicity, lust, anger, perplexity, pride, quarreling, enmity, faithlessness, envy, and dangers caused by women, gambling, and intoxication are the 15 undesirable qualities that contaminate men because of greed for wealth. These are 15 anarthas. One desiring to achieve real benefit of life should therefore remain aloof from these anarthas, which men believe are valuable. So, these are the anarthas, 15 anarthas. Here in Avanti Brahman story, he is attached to wealth. So, similarly, we are also attached to something, desiring something. And so, Krishna says, one of the senses, if it is not in control, we will be carried away. Right? So, we, as a person or as material body or soul, we have desires and we are attached to certain desires, and that will make us do so many things, right? So, anarthas will not go in one way, 1 second or 1 day or 1 month. It's a gradual process, and all this starts from renunciation and surrender. As you surrender, I reciprocate. If your surrender is 100%, Krishna reciprocates 100%. But if my surrender is 10%, only 10% reciprocation is there. So, in that way, if we want to get over these anarthas, I also have anarthas. I try to get over them. Sometimes I am successful, many times I fail. Why I failed, I analyzed why and how I failed and how the mind works. So, for example, I decided not to watch YouTube or not anything, reels or whatever, social media. And I control for 2 days. Okay. And third day is coming. So I have observed this that how the mind will trick me. It will say, okay, you decided now to control these things. Good. This is a good decision. So now you followed as per your decision for 3 days. Very nice. But it is okay to watch 5 minutes. Oh, don't watch it today because today you morning you decided. So you maybe you watch tomorrow. And every day mind will do this thing. And at certain point, I will give up. My intelligence will give up. Okay, 5 minutes is okay. Yeah, that's correct. I control for 15 days, and now I got control over it. So okay, 5 minutes is okay. And these people are saying this song is very beautiful, this movie is very beautiful, whatever. So I will say okay, 5 minutes I will work, and that's it. That 5 minutes will trigger everything. So the mind is also very clever. It will not act in one day. Slowly it poisons you and make you act. So we have to handle that. Maharaj told one thing that one way to control the mind is act in the same way like mind. Okay, if mind says you have to watch this song today because you control 15 days, so you have to tell the mind, okay, I will watch it, but not today, tomorrow, every day. Mind will pursue on the same thing continuously, but we have to also reverse way do that. That requires very study intelligence. That's why Vyavasaya Ekeha Kurunandan is very important. Intelligence focused. So I think Aarti Mataji, you got some hint like how this works and how our mind and false ego are making us to act. The anarthas are actually coming from the bodies and the ego and our desires. So we should not be surprised by the anarthas. We have it because we have desires. So we have to find out which desire is making me do all these activities. It's always some wealth or position or fame, becoming famous or becoming good renunciate, whatever the 6 opulences of Krishna, out of that something we are desiring, that's why the problem is happening. So we have to understand it's not possible to be wealthy like Krishna, or to be humble like Krishna, or to be renunciate like Krishna. Uh, it's not possible. We are not accepting that. We try to become, we cannot become famous like Krishna, but we want to become little bit famous that people around me, people in the city know me, desires. So that surrender, that Krishna is the topmost, is not there, and that we have to bring from these instructions. Okay.
Yes, Prabhuji, Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. Thank you for the beautiful explanation. But like how you said earlier, like we are only responsible for everything. Like no external blaming. We cannot blame on other factors. It's just us completely.
Mhm.
So that gave like yes. So we have to take responsibility for whichever situation we are in. But like you said, the fight between mind and intelligence, that
Mhm.
is where maybe I'm stuck. Like
Mm,
I know what is right, what is wrong with
mm,
the purports, but
Mm.
the fight constantly, like, okay, calming the mind with the intelligence. Maybe that strength has to grow within, and for which I need Krishna.
Yeah. So Krishna says renunciation and practice. So every day we have to practice. I also struggle. It's not only you. I am also stuck up there only. Because once you achieve that, then things are very easy. And that is the anartha nivrutti stage. That's why anartha nivrutti stage is not only in this lifetime. It goes for many, many lifetimes, anartha nivrutti. Because achieving this supremacy of intelligence controlling the mind is not so easy. I am also stuck up there only. I know what is good, what should not be done, but I cannot because the mind is so strong and uh, flickering is all this we know, but mind never give up. That is the problem. It never gives up what he wants to do. There are a few people in our life. We see these people, they will never give up on their idea. They just keep pursuing, talking on the same thing till they achieve what they want. So that is a representation of the mind. It keeps on doing the same thing, continuously talking the same thing, and ultimately the intelligence will give up of. I am fed up of this. So it's not your problem, Mataji. It's my problem. It's everybody's problem. And to come out of this, we need some strength which is above all these things, right? And that is Krishna, right? That is bhakti. So so bhakti will give us that strength to come out of this constant fight of intelligence and mind. Our sadhana, our practice of devotional service should be so focused. That's why all the acharyas and everybody says, yeah, devotional service, bhakti is everything is very important. Doing service in temple, doing service for temple, working for Krishna, everything is important. But the more important is how it is your intention, why you are doing that service. Is there any alternative purpose of doing service is also very important, because if you are trying to satisfy your own desires by the bhakti process, that's actually creating problems for also. So say for example, I'm doing some service in temple, but I know if I'm doing that service, I will be praised, or devotee will think, oh, he's a great devotee, whatever. Then it actually the bhakti process is happening. So you are getting the good result of doing that service for Krishna. But at the same time, you are also desiring something for you. So Krishna will fulfill that also. Krishna will say, oh, you want this, okay, you get this. There are many examples devotees tell that, yeah, I was doing the service and I was desiring to have eat something, and Krishna arranged that. So these experiences we get. So intentions very important. So person who has good intentions are very rare, and if such people are there, you associate with them, because that will give you the strength, and that's well, yeah.
And also, like, when you read the list of anarthas, Prabhuji,
Mhm.
I just had this one thought. Like, now we can't explicitly say whether somebody or even the self is good or evil. Like, we had bad characters typically, like Ravana or Kamsa, or like these people are classified as evil. But
Mhm.
now the theft or those kind of things don't really apply to us. But
Mhm.
somewhere it's all very subtle and very intricate, and there are a lot of anarthas, but we think we are good.
Mhm.
That also affect probably. Like, yeah, we do have that major fight because there is no black or white. It's all gray now.
But that gray is coming from us only, like theft. You said theft, right?
Yes, probably.
So theft is like Shastra says, theft is not only theft of money, right? So
Hmm.
it can be anything that is not belong to you, you are using, right? So you try to utilize it. So if we say this table or this house or this air, nature, everything does not belong to me, but we are using it for our. So if you utilize it for Krishna, it is good. If you utilize for yourself, it is a kind of thing that Krishna's property we are utilizing, right? So this mentality of using, that is giving rise to this kind of theft, right? So if you see, analyze properly, you will understand, yes, this is I'm doing this, all these things. And why this is problem? Because I'm doing it for myself. That's the problem. If you do it for Krishna, it's not a problem. Right? So there are many stories like where Srila Prabhupada disciples, when they didn't have money, and they used to steal the things, right, from the shops and all, because they are all hippies, right? So they are used to do these things, but their intention. So if taking flower, okay, I'm walking on the road and some beautiful flower is there, but it's not my property. So shall I take that flower or not? If I take it for myself, it's always utilizing for me. But if I'm taking for Krishna, then devotees say, oh, I'm taking it for Krishna, so stealing is okay. But as an act, that will create an impression. Last week we discussed like a beach
Yes, Prabhuji.
taking. So that is a problem, right? So we do these things, and if you analyze consciously of our activities, we understand, yeah, it was for me only. It was not for Krishna. Okay. So that's so Avanti Brahman story. You will understand that he utilized a lot of time to contemplate and introspect what he has done. And that's why contemplation and introspection is important of our own activities. Right?
Beautiful, Prabhuji. Thank you so much, Prabhuji.
Thank you. Any other points or comments from anybody? It looks like this class or this discussion looks heavy, right? But actually, you have to take it normally. This is our life. This is what we are living. So it's nothing that we are talking which is uh, out of this world or we are not related to. We are related to all these things. Any other points or something? Anybody wants to add something?
Prabhuji, I have one question.
Yeah.
So, how to know that ati is ati means how much is over is over? For
Mhm.
example, from the past 10, 20 years, we are like, for example, eating. So we are eating, overeating. So our body is now adapt to that. How to know that? Uh, and the new over is now the new normal for us. So how to know that we are not doing over? Or similarly, it's like accumulating funds. For example, we have taken a loan. For that, we required a lot of funds. So I have to do over to accumulate that fund now. So how to know? And it's a very related term to, for example, over for you is different for over for me.
Yeah.
So how should I differentiate? Like,
Yes, this is a very good point. How to strike the balance, right? So if you take about the wealth or you say talk about eating, right? So all these new diets that are coming, right? 16-hour diet, intermediate fasting, this diet, that. All this is they are trying to give us certain ways to strike the balance for yours overall, but they are very generalized. So my body, my diet requirements are different from your, but you have to judge from your perspective. I will judge my from my perspective. So if I talk about my body requirements, so say I am 50 years old, so how much physical work I am doing, how much activities I am getting involved in, what is my lifestyle, how much exercise I am doing, how much movements are there, what is my nature. So I have to judge on myself, like with including the age and all the factors, right? So based on that, I will decide, okay, I can eat. So now, sir, like 2 days back, we were discussing like, okay, gluten at after certain time, like you for Anmol or Chinmay or young people, right, who are in their 20s or 30s, digesting the gluten is not a big thing. You can easily digest because your what we say immune system is very strong. huh? So you can easily digest all these things. But for our body, as the body deteriorates, if you are in proper conscious, you will understand I cannot digest this much. So the indications come from the body, but we don't listen that, right? So it's individual, right? You said it's an individual thing that we have to do. So how much wealth I need, right? So like Havi Prabhu is here, right? So he was calculating that he's okay, 73 years age. So while he calculated how much wealth he needs, if you don't want to do any concerts or any activities now. So he calculated, okay, my parents live, they died in this particular age. Okay, what age I am. Then he said, okay, what is the expenses in India, Japan, all this. And he analyzed all those things. And then he came up with a figure that this is the minimum I need to survive for 10 years till I die. Right. So all this is proper analysis we have to do and then come to the strike the balance. With this analysis part, I am very weak. If I honest, I am very weak about this analysis, and so in many times we don't want to do it, and then we don't know where the balance is. But normal things like food and bodily condition, body will react, uh, and the mind will react. When you are over endeavoring for something, you cannot sleep because you are just planning how to do it. So 2 3 days back, I was discussing with one devotee that okay, I'm forgetting the things somehow or other. Before I used to remember, I lost the key of my car and I was not able to recall where it went, where I kept. And when we were talking about this, the point came up that our mind is so much occupied that it is getting tired and it is not able to the intelligence forget intelligence mind itself is getting so much tired with so many things in hand and so many things to do. It's not working, so we are forgetting. And our consciousness, Krishna says, I give the understanding, forgetfulness, everything, remember, everything comes from me. So we are so much into the mind that we are not focusing on the main goal. Avanti Brahman case is same. So, how much your mind can take, maybe Anmol, Chinmay, or Sanskriti, or your mind can take much more things than what I can take, or what Om can think more. You can think more, but I cannot now. So, I have to accept what is my current situation. I am this much age, my body is deteriorating, my remembrance, intelligence is becoming slow. You means we are telling you this when you are still in 20s or 30s, but you remember this and you analyze your situation and then you understand, okay, what is the balance? If I how much time I should spend, so that Prabhupada gave us the priority. He said health is the first. When your health starts deteriorating or impacting on your health, the balance is not there. So it may be anything. You are gaining the weight, you are losing the weight, you are not able to sleep, or you are oversleeping. All these situations are indicators that you are doing something extra. Does that help, Anmol, or no?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji. Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. But
Uh,
like follow up to this, like, is there any like over in bhakti also? Can we say, for example, I recall like last weekend I was talking to my cousin.
mm,
So he told me, you are going on a spiritual path, it's okay, but don't overdo it. So
mm.
I was like, what is over? So
Yeah, so in that sense, like bhakti, as a bhakti, there is no limit because Krishna is unlimited, bhakti is unlimited. The rasa coming out of bhakti is unlimited. There is no limit to it. But when we say overdoing it, so one thing I know is like okay, you are doing bhakti, so you are neglecting your dharma or your duties, right? So that is not good. So in one of the lectures, like I think Gaur Gopal Prabhu was telling that he was suggesting the young generation that what should not be done. So what he told Gaur Gopal Prabhu that in their life, when they were attracted to bhakti and to process of bhakti, they gave up everything and just joined the temple. Okay, okay, as a bhakti, it was good. because they progressed in the bhakti and they are on the spiritual path. But he was suggesting that this is good from external point of view, but his suggestion was, of course, you have to dedicate your life to bhakti, but you also consider of your duties or your dharma. So he was talking about your family responsibilities, your loved ones, all these things. So he was telling that you should be considerate about that also. So okay, you want to join temple, fine, it's fine. But okay, you talk with your parents, you talk with your friends, your relatives, and then take a decision so that everybody is involved in that. So overdoing does not means in that way. Like, so I give up my job and also I'll do bhakti. But are you ready for that? Are you ready for to do bhakti 24 hours a day? Or not? So overdoing bhakti means neglecting your dharma and responsibilities. No, Krishna never told Arjuna that you do bhakti. That means you go into jungle and do bhakti and chant or meditate. No, you see, boss, you fight. You fight, but the way you fight is different. Huh? So detached fight. So Arjuna had to do his dharma and his duty. So overdoing is generally when people say, my relatives also tell me, overdo it means uh, we have to understand that, okay, maybe I'm doing some mistake, okay, which I should not do. That is a indicator, right? So bhakti, doing overdoing bhakti is never bad, but the way you do the bhakti is very important. Doing like Arjuna, doing like Uddhava, doing all the dharma activities and your duties and doing deep bhakti is good. Just renunciation, everything Krishna tells in Bhagavad Gita chapter 5, that's not renunciation. If you give up activities, that's not renunciation. So that is when your cousin might have told you, don't overdo it, means just leave it everything and just do that. So in the background, there may be something like, okay, take care of your parents or your family, whatever. Some intentions are there that be careful of all these things. So doing over bhakti is 24, we cannot do 20 more than 24 hours bhakti. So that is the limit of 24. But in 24 hours, how we do the bhakti, there is no limit to that. How much we surrender to Krishna, there is no limit to that. So that's how we should take it as, not overdoing the bhakti.
Thank you, Prabhuji. Really clears my mind.
Yeah,
Uh, Thank you, thank you. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Always remember Arjuna, he fought in the battle. Okay, so
Yeah.
take
Yes.
care of your parents, take care of your mother, their feelings, take care of your wife, take care of your children. That all is included in bhakti. That's part of bhakti. Talking nicely to mother, father, parents. It's because you are taking our responsibility that Krishna has given, right? And one more thing that Avanti Brahman story tells, like first or second, third sloka, is that the arrow that pierces the heart or the body physically gives pain, right? But the words, your words that give pain to somebody are more harmful than the arrows. This we know everything. Like we send very strong mail. Nowadays, social media, we send very strong messages. We think this is the way I am. I will give the clear message. I will write hard words. But social media is very dangerous. Mails are very dangerous. The way you write and the way people read it, it's very hurtful. Nowadays, because of social media, it's more problematic. So you should be very careful of using social media. So Krishna is telling, Avanti Brahman is telling, when it was face-to-face discussions and you harm somebody by your words, very physical thing, gross thing. But now it's very subtle because of this social media. So we are used to not accept what somebody else is saying, and we want to comment on everything. that is coming from Atyahar. Ati, why you want to comment on everything? From where it is coming? Analyze it. Because every word you write on the uh, WhatsApp or line or very dangerous. It impacts like nothing, and it hurts. And what is the problem? With social media? Why I don't use Instagram or Facebook or anything? It's actually total illusion. I'm writing. Maybe my writing is with very good intention. I'm sending some message to somebody, but that next person is in some different situation and he receives my lines in a different way, he perceives it in a different way, and the meaning or intention that I have is completely reversed, and he misunderstands me, and that remains for the life. So what a loss is this, no? So we have to be very careful. Krishna says your words should not hurt anybody, right? And what Anmol is writing, impact equals to intent plus emotion. Exactly. So emotions hurt once or emotions hurt for lifetime. This sentence is there. So we have to be very sober, ne, when we write or we talk. And this applies to me also. Like many devotees tell me also, right? Oh, you talk very roughly. And I counter it by saying I talk what is the truth. But that's not the means my answer to that question is not correct. What is the truth? But Krishna says truth should be also told in a way that it satisfies this next person. But if I talk my way, what I am doing, it's not correct, right? So very interesting. Like I have to control my tongue, the way of talking. But what to do? I stayed with say 10 years in a factory, so that samskar is there, and it's difficult to come out of it. So slowly I try to be uh, I have very reverse experience also. If I talk very nicely with somebody and very politely, then also the next person think, why is talking so politely? Some problem is there. So that's the way the world works, right? So yeah, it's to apply it is very difficult also and interesting also. Yeah. Slowly we have to learn. Okay. Any other points, or we are okay to close for now? I think this second shloka, in connection with the Avanti Brahman story, we have covered most of the instructions, but there are these purports are so long, and Srila Prabhupada has given so much knowledge in each line of these purports that every shloka can be discussed in connection with Bhagavatam for many days. But we can decide like whether we should go to the next sloka, or we continue, or we want to talk something more about this. Uh,
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
So, the second shloka, can we discuss or can you tell more about the Shaktis, the three Shaktis which is in the first paragraph of second text?
Okay.
Next time or today, I don't know, you decide.
Maybe next time. It's already 8:30, right? What time? I'm not saying the time, but I think. But we can talk about this Antaranga Shakti, Bahiranga Shakti, and Tatastha Shakti. It's a very important topic of Bhagavad Gita and the Gita, everything. So yeah, we can talk next time. Chaitanya Charitamrita also gives a lot of this thing, and there is a lot of uh, different views about this Shakti. So we can talk what are these Shaktis, how they are constituted, but how it impacts us, we can discuss little bit. And because Acharyas have given a lot of commentaries on this, but we can do that. Okay, so next time we can do that. And if any other topics or any other points that we should discuss related to these shlokas, that what are the problems in the bhakti, problematic actions that impact our bhakti, yes, we can write on the group and then we can take this next Saturday. We can discuss on that with reference to Bhagavatam or Chaitanya Charitamrita or Bhagavad Gita. Okay? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay. Hare Krishna.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Srila
Jai.
Rupa Goswami
Jai.
ki jai.
Jai.
Nitai Premanande. Hare
Jai.
Hare
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much.